You really want to know the truth of what's going in the world, then you're going to literally have to watch this video all the way through. I know, asking so much of 18 minutes of your time. However, understand this. They would rather entangle the American people and the entire world in World War III between Russia and the Ukraine than tell us what's in the Epstein list. I'm fixing to twist it all together, lay it out in a nice little present, and I'll even pull the bow for you if you've got the patience to listen.
Mr. President, is there no deal? Mr. President, can you tell us what happened? Is the deal off?
So let's get this straight, world. Let me break it down for you. Zelenskyy comes to America and then begins to demand that we do something for him. What else do you want, sir? And I'm gonna have to tell you guys, I love JD Vance, but I have never been more proud of an American president in my life, because Trump told Zelenskyy I'm gonna let y'all hear it, but there's no mincing of words. He basically said, you either will make a deal or you're gonna fight it out.
But he didn't break it with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
I advise you don't do that. JD Vance had to tell Zelenskyy multiple times, you need to lose your attitude and be thankful. So what did we find out through this whole thing? Okay, so I'm so excited. Let me break this down for you guys. This is how it happened. Zelenskyy comes to the United States with his hand out like the entire world all the time. So here's little Zelenskyy, right? What's he do? Let's bring the press in. Okay? Come on in. Come in, press. Why? Why is he doing that? Because he's putting pressure. He's playing the only cards that he has, and you have to give it to him. Good try. You forgot Trump don't care. What? Trump don't care. Hey, world, if you're getting money from America and you make this president mad, adios, amigos, arrivederci. We don't care anymore. So he comes in, he brings all the press, right? Gotta have his friends here, because he can't come in all 5'2" by himself. Ain't much there to, you know what I'm saying. Back to the point. So he takes a seat. Trump's to his left, JD Vance across. He starts telling us what we're gonna do for him. You forgot who you're talking to. This was an actual president with his brain still intact, okay? So no go. Then what does JD Vance say? Hold up, Zelenskyy, weren't you over here out there campaigning for Kamala Harris just last year?
No, in this entire meeting that you said thank you, you went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October, offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Zelenskyy's like, what? What? What you talk about? What you talk about? It's like when you got your 2-year-old when they're handing the cookie jar and you say, hey kids, you got your hand in the cookie jar? They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, cookie crumbs? Yeah, that was Zelenskyy. All I could do was laugh. Then President Trump tells him, oh, actually JD Vance tells him, he says, look, dude, you're having to force people to the front to fight. What does Zelenskyy do? He goes into excuses. Oh, Russia came when Obama was president. Russia came when Biden was president. And what does Trump? Trump stops him. He goes, yeah, but when I was president, Russia didn't mess with you. Now that I'm president again, Russia's not going to mess with you. But you have to be willing to make some kind of deal. Now, there's one thing in here, guys, and I really need y'all to pick this up, okay? Zelenskyy talks about how a couple of years ago he signs a ceasefire with Russia. You know, the EU is involved and all this big stuff, and everybody signs it.
And we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I had heard from Kennedy himself, yes, HHS Kennedy, that just, y'all know who I'm talking about. Kennedy, listened to him say this out of his own mouth. What a lot of people don't understand is that the EU made Zelenskyy tear up the ceasefire because they did not want the war to stop. The Democrats did not want this war to stop. They wanted World War III. Folks, please understand when I tell you this. Everything going on in the world right now is because we have people that become uber rich every time there's a war. They're called wartime presidents. And there's me one thing in the history books about Trump is that there'll be no wars when Trump is president because he does hold all the cards. And even though the Democrats are trying to force his hand with making us pay the US aid and all this other nonsense, understand when he stopped the flow of money, he controlled the world just like that. America literally protects Canada, the EU, all these islands, Pacific Islands, we're all over the place. And Americans are getting tired of it. I'm looking down the barrel of a $3,000 federal tax this year. And YouTube stole my money. So if you'd like to support what we do here, please look in the top of comments. There's ways that you can send $1, 1,000. I'm not picky. I'm easy. I'm real easy to make happy. But my point is this. We all feel the pinch. Why am I paying for prostitutes in South Africa to get aid medication? Why? It just doesn't make any sense. Why am I paying for gain of function testing in Wuhan? Why am I paying universities to give scholarships to undocumented children while my daughter's on the phone with me today crying because she was hoping her little YouTube channel would get bigger than it is so it would bring in some money so she could pay for housing in Seattle? Americans, we're tired of it. World, listen to us. We love you guys. We love you guys. But we have some real issues in our country right now and we just can't. So if y'all get yourselves embroiled in a war somewhere, you better figure it out. So with no further ado, I'm going to let you guys hear everything they just said. I clipped out the very best for you. Listen carefully, but notice one thing about Trump. He flat tells you, me and Putin went through it with the Russian collusion. It was made up. The Clintons, the Obamas, the Bidens. He calls them all out. And he tells him, we went through that together. We avoided World War III over that. That's how close they got us to World War III the first go round, and this is how close we are to World War III now. So it's time we all start trusting God, going to church, stocking food, preparing ourselves, and helping each other when we need help. Because it's gonna get hard before it gets better. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was-
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you think
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to
president.
use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
And
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
that
what
wasn't
is-
with me.
it
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what
She's
if
asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
broken ceasefire.
What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
But what-
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. the 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam, and he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal.
There it was. Did you hear it? I don't know what happened. He admits Putin broke deals with Bush and Obama. But he went to say, and Biden, then he stopped himself and he said, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I told you guys, Kennedy came out with that about 2 years ago, that they had a deal. Macron, all those over there in the EU, harassed Zelenskyy until he tore it up. And when he tore up the agreement, Putin just did whatever he wanted to. Folks, your president is so much smarter than what mainstream media gives him. And if you aren't following all these different people and going down some of these rabbit holes and gathering the tidbits along the way, you miss so much of what Trump says. It just almost sounds like he's rambling because there's so much here. The man is brilliant. Trust him. However, Pam Bondi, I've been digging into that. Did you guys know she was AG in Florida the first go round with Epstein? It barely overlaps, but she was in it. And I'm going to find it. I don't know where that egg is, and I don't know where that smoking gun is. But the sniffer never lets me down. And Pam Bondi is not what she seems to be. So if you're a Pam Bondi fan, if you're not, but you're an American fan, stay with us. Row in our boat, Miss Debbie, row in our boat, because we're going someplace. You guys are welcome to come with us.